So what's going on, you guys out there? You already know who this is. The Boss Don, Caesar Leo. Shout out to Max B, Boss Don status. Listen, so, I always come around and I talk about certain things, a lot of social political issues. Lately, I've really been feeling like talking about the dynamics between the African Americans and Africans, being the humble Pan-Africanists that I am. I always think like there's some things that need to be discussed. Of course, I don't want to sound like I'm beating a dead horse because we have talked about things like this in the past. A lot of other people are talking about things like this, but I'm the kind of guy that goes into detail. I'm the kind of guy that says what's actually on my mind and what's on a lot of other people's minds. I'm politically incorrect. Shay gets. So now there's one particular thing that I want to touch on today. And what I want to touch on today is more of the attitude that Africans have towards Black Americans and vice versa, the attitude that Black Americans have towards Africans. See, now, right now, it's coming off like African Americans feel like, oh, Africans look down on you. We don't like you. We think we're better than you. Now, am I going to say that that's 100% wrong? Maybe not. I'm sure there's some Africans that probably feel they have a superiority complex. They feel like, oh, we have culture, we're traditional, as opposed to the Western world or Black Americans, not so as traditional, so to speak. Depends on what you quantify as traditional. Now, some Africans also feel that Black Americans, on the other hand, think they're better than Africans. They look down on Africans. Maybe if a Black American chick is dating an African dude, maybe the Black American guy would be like, "You dating the African?" Like, make a face like, "But he African though." That type of thing. That's demeaning, right? That's like you think you're better than him, that she could do better. So what I'm trying to say is that it does go both ways. But for the most part, right, when I was growing up in the 90s, we looked at America as the end all and be all. When somebody went to America and came back to Nigeria, maybe he had like that towel around his neck. That was like the swag. You have that little white towel around your neck on your shoulder. That kind of signified the swag of like, okay, I just came back from Yankee. I just came back from America. Oh, the accent, like all that. We looked up to that. Like we looked up to Black Americans, like from the music to the athletes. You know what I mean? That was what was sold to us being in Africa. So we looked up to Black Americans as the leaders of the leaders of the Black race, the leaders of the Black culture. Because we're Africans, we're still behind. We're just barely getting our independence, 30, 40 years. So we're still, trying to get our bearings in life. Our leaders is whack. Our leaders are just ripping us off, selling us out. So we looked at Black Americans like, yeah, Michael Jordan, yeah, Tupac Biggie, yeah, Will Smith, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, things of that nature, We admired and still admire Black Americans. Now, what happened as time went on was that Africans started migrating to America, just like every other country in the world migrates to America, because America is a land of opportunity. It's an immigrant land, So Africans started coming out here, Nigerians, Kenyans, Ghanaians, whatever, all of them, right? And slowly but surely, we start working hard, and making things happen for ourselves, sending money back home, building houses back home, buying houses here, setting up businesses. And, sometimes Black Americans feel like, or they felt like, how is it possible that other races and even other Black race, Africans, are coming into America and they're making it. But we who have been here, our fathers have been here, and we can't even get a corner store. The Asian owns the corner store. Or the Nigerians, you know what I'm saying? They're all doctors and whatever, whatever. But we can't, you know what I'm saying? We don't can't get into school. We can't get financial aid. You know, some can blame it for systemic racism, trying to target kids young and then get them caught up in the jail system. So where they have catch a felony, juvenile felony or whatever, and now their future is messed up because they have a past. Sure you get. So it's like, how can we as Africans explain better, but to say that, for me personally, because I can't speak for every African, it's over 1 billion plus Africans. I'm just but one man, you feel me? But what I can say for myself is, I've seen both sides and I can understand both sides. Now, one thing I want to say is, I want Black Americans, FBA people, to take some form of responsibility. When Africans started coming here, Black Americans looked down on Africans based on whatever the media had sold you guys. You looked down on Africans, you thought we were from the bush. There was some type of love in a way, but it's that kind of love where I can probably only love you as long as you're there, as long as you're down there. But once you start coming up here, it's like, now I kind of hate you in a way. And that's how the whole African booty scratcher thing. Imagine you go into a country and then they call you like a African booty scratcher or Black booty scratcher. Like you're a dude that walks around scratching your butt up and down. You scratch your hand and you smell. You know what I mean? So that was what our parents were called. So I honestly believe that was how all this started. The thing is, I want Black Americans to take responsibility for that and apologize for that. It doesn't affect us, it doesn't affect this generation, but it affected our parents. You know what I'm saying? I've never heard a Black American just honestly admit and say, you know what, we look down on the African because of his name. We made fun of his name. We made fun of his accent. We called them African booty scratchers. We made African sounds to mimic them, to make them sound like they were dumb and from the bushes. So that's what I'm challenging Tariq Nasheed and every other FBA member out there. Now, the thing is, we're not necessarily mad, because Africans really don't take things personal, generally speaking. We don't really take things personal. What we take personal is money. Africans love to make money. We believe money is the freedom. We look for financial freedom. It's money. If you're not talking about money, man, we ain't talking. I know some people that talk about nothing else but business 24 hours a day, even with their wives. It's business. I know some people like that. So that's my challenge to Black Americans, right? Is to accept the responsibility for starting those condescending remarks towards Africans. Now, to my African brothers and sisters, yes, I've heard, people have told me directly. I've had conversations where they're like, who be Akata? I don't know if he'd be like Akata now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, looking down on Black Americans. Yes, Some Africans are like that. That's true. Some Africans think that they're better than Black Americans because of whatever reason. Culture, a lot of it has to do with culture, you know what I'm saying, and attitude, behavioral attitudes. So, but that's not necessarily true. It's just like how people say, oh, Black Americans don't go to school, Black Americans don't work. Yo, go to TSU, go to Prairie View A&M. There's nothing but Black people up in there. Those are two schools that I know about, that I've been to, that I've visited, you know what I'm saying? I know there's Howard, Spelman, Morehouse, Oakwood College. I know that all those schools, there's nothing but Black folks. Oh, Black people don't work, Black Americans don't work. The last office job I had right before COVID was filled with almost Black people, and a lot of them were Black women. Beautiful too, beautiful, fine. But that's besides the point, right? So what I'm trying to say is, man, we're like cousins that fight, but we still have love for each other, but we still dig at each other. And so this happens with all other races and cultures. So there's nothing to be taken personally. I don't want you guys just walking around thinking that Africans think we're better than you, or I don't want Africans walking around thinking that Black Americans think they're better than us. Even though there might be some type of proof to, some type of proof, or whatever should I say, right? On both ends. It's not solid. It's not based on anything solid. It's more about moving forward. Now, the thing is this, right? Black Americans, me personally, I've always been saying that reparations, you guys should put that to the side and focus on something bigger and better. And a lot of FBA people say that, oh, I'm African, I have no say so. The funny thing about it is that I'm still a nigga. You feel me? I'm still, like, to the police or to the white people, when they see me, look, I got, you know what I'm saying? I got beard, I'm braided up, you know what I'm saying? Well, they still look at us as niggas. We're still niggas. I'm still hella Black. You know what I mean? I'm dark skinned, you feel me? So it's like, we're still connected. Whether you like it or not, we're still connected. So it's a thing of, we need to be allies. The only reason why Black Americans are still fighting for reparations, well, the only reason why America hasn't granted Black Americans any sort of solid form of reparations is because they don't respect Black people. And when I mean Black people, I mean Africa. Your foundation is Africa, right? African American. I know some people want to stay away from the African side. They want to put just foundational Black American. Nigga, all that's cap. African American. You're Black. Nigga, Black is Africa. Okay? So, Africa is still messed up. Right? As a group, as a continent, it's messed up. Individually, people are doing great. A lot of people are doing great. A lot of people are also poor. Hella people are poor. But a lot of people are doing massively well for themselves. So my thing is, the only way Black Americans can get solid reparations in America is by aligning themselves with Africans here and back home. Improving on Africa, helping to improve on Africa, have some resources, some investments, solid natural investments, right? Like I've always said, like oil, diamonds, all this other natural stones, natural gases from Africa. Investing in all that. Get your financial power up. Being more of a production race than a consumption race. Once that starts happening, you will see that when you start talking and making demands, people will start clamoring, scraping and just to answer you, because everybody respects money. Money. It's all about the money. That's why Jews are doing whatever they can do. And once you just say the Jews, as a matter of fact, just me saying the Jews is already sort of considered anti-Semitic borderline just because I'm not black, even though I know that I'm Jew. I am a Jew. But that's a different story. That's deep. That's some other stuff. But we can only, nobody wins when the house fights or when the house feuds. When the house feuds, nobody wins. We lose. So when Africans are fighting Black Americans are fighting Africans, we as Black people, we're going to lose. We are going to lose. But when you, my American brother, link up with me, your African brother, and vice versa, then we can build this mansion. We can build this lifestyle. We can build our respect. We can earn the true respect that we really, truly deep down have, but is still suppressed at the bottom, at the underground, because people out there don't want to, you know what I'm saying? They don't want to give us that because they know that once the power is shifted, it can't come back. Tell me now, if you were in power, do you want to give power to somebody else if you were in power? If you were really empowered, do you want to give that power to somebody else? In government, they say power corrupts power and absolute power corrupts power absolutely. The people in power right now, they're power drunk, power happy, power hungry, and they're not letting go. So it's up to us to take that power. It's up to us to fight for that power. It's up to us to build our own so that we can stand toe to toe and even shoulders above others because we're Black. And there's a lot of pride being Black. We walk different, we talk, we act different, we make love different. Our hair can be nappy today, it can be braided up tomorrow, it can be dreaded down, it can be twisted up, it can be cut low, you get the waves. Like, you know what I mean? Black people are the only people that have different shades, different colors of black. A white man is just a white man. Maybe he's burnt and he has a red neck, but he's either pale or redneck or something. Spanish is either just a bit darker or light. But Black people, you're going to see people like me. You're going to see people darker than me, like the Sudanese people. You're going to see caramel. You're going to see yellow bone. You're going to see red bone. You're going to see albinos, but they're all Black people. Tell me that's not that's not a blessing. Tell me that's not just some other stuff. We're physically the strongest. Black doesn't crack. We look good. I don't want to tell you guys my age. You guys would think I'm capping, so I'm not even going to speak on my age, but I'm grown, man. I mean, I'm a man. You feel me? So all I'm trying to say is, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we need to just align, get our stuff together, stop bickering over what doesn't really matter. Oh, they say they don't like us. That doesn't matter. Who cares, man? White people don't like you. Spanish people don't like you. You know what I'm saying? Who cares who doesn't like you? You like you. You like you first. If you like you first, then you don't really care who doesn't like you. That's just the truth, man. I love me. So anybody that doesn't like me, that's your problem. You don't have to like me. I don't need you to like me. I don't want you to like me, as a matter of fact. Bounce. You kill me? So I'm like, FBA, Adolf, what's another one called Adolf? I don't know. All these names. Fine. You can give us those names. Me, I'm an Igbo boy. I'm Igbo. Sure you get. From Nigeria, Igbo tribe. And all I'm trying to do is link up. All I'm trying to do is just build bridges with my clothing line, with my verbiage, with my day-to-day activities with Black Americans. I got Black American homeboys, homegirls, you know what I'm saying? I've dated a couple of Black American chicks, You know what I'm saying? I don't think I'm gonna marry one. Well, maybe I might, but I don't think I'll marry just because of the food, just because they can't cook like Nigerian food. I eat Nigerian food almost every day, you know, except for fast food every now and then. But I can't just go 2 days without having something that's like a Nigerian authentic dish. But that's my personal preference. Other than that, I love Black American chicks. They're easy to get along with. They're straightforward, easy to understand. You know what I'm saying? Like they're understanding as well. As long as a guy has potential, they're willing to deal with you. African girls is like it's harder. Honestly speaking, it's harder. But when you get a good African woman, you've got you a real woman, for real, for real. That's for real. So, man, as for now, this is all I got to say. I probably got more to say, but let me just hear what you guys have to say in the comments section or whatever, and maybe we can keep it going on from there. I got some other stuff to talk about, but we're gonna get this right between Black Americans and Africans. We're gonna get this right, man. Until then, man, it's one love.